Today, we are going to talk about the dominant dogma that shares you must earn your belonging with your spirit, also thought of as your essence or your soul. This dominant dogma doesn't provide any room for respite because it states that you, your soul, the core of your existence, is not enough. You are not worthy as a person, and in fact, you are morally corrupt just for existing. Essentially, all dominant dogma falls underneath this core narrative of unworthiness, and it has likely impacted your life by causing you to feel insecure, not enough, anxious, alone, fearful, stuck, and stagnant, and like you don't even deserve your dreams for a better life. In episode 15 of this podcast, I referenced an article by James Boyce for The Guardian, and it feels appropriate to integrate that here as well. Within his writing, he shares about the West's obsession with perfectionism, i.e. this belief that there is a perfect and that many of us fall short of it, and how this has largely been said to be due to our own creation story myth. Passed down from our ancestors is this belief that we are inherently bad or sinful, resulting in the sensation we are not enough. That somehow we need to earn our worth by pledging our allegiance to the Christian God or Trinity, and then essentially prove our allegiance by bearing fruit. John 15:8. Now, I don't believe that spirituality as a whole is harmful. Having a sense of connection to the greater world, having a higher power, and having historical books that teach myths and archetypes to support growth and self-reflection is incredible. I myself have many spiritual practices that I love and that ground me. However, as I've shared in previous episodes, it's how dominant culture misuses the stories, beliefs, and virtues that they become toxic tools of manipulation. It's how we are required to fit into dominant dogma to be accepted and safe. It's how patriarchy, supremacy culture, and those at the top of the capitalist food chain benefit from your playing small and feeling broken. It's how the stories and beliefs have become dogma instead of concepts and perspectives that we can evaluate, contemplate, set healthy boundaries around, and yet still empathize with. What we are evaluating here on the podcast are the narratives surrounding each one of us that have become our conditioning. We do this so we can drag the unconscious out into the light, evaluate it, and determine if it's actually serving us, or if we need to hand it back for something more supportive, for something more life-giving, for something more freeing. To quote Carl Jung, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And this leads us to the freedom on the other side. You are worthy, and you can evaluate the narratives that have made up your conditioning, determine if they are supportive for you, and choose a new path forward.